Hey, Vince Del Monte here, and many of you guys know me as Skinny Vinny, turned skinny guy savior, muscle building coach on YouTube since 2008, and I've turned business coach over the last 3-4 years, helping fit pros start and grow their fitness business. And in this video, I want to talk about my journey through 75 Hard, a program that I attempted a couple times by myself in the past, and I failed. So if you're thinking about doing this, I recommend you watch this video. And I wanted to just start off with, why did I decide to do this? Aside from having a gut and starting to develop man boobs and feeling like I was losing the authority in my voice because I had figured out how to really cover up lifestyle with language. Some people would just call that being a hypocrite. I was ready to take back control and stop making excuses and to re-empower myself through something tough. And I think I was drawn to this because the promise of this program isn't weight loss. And I think a lot of my failures have been going back to my old ways of trying to get in shape, which have always been external based, always just looking at, complicated things like calorie breakdowns and macro splits and periodization things. And what I really liked about the 75 Hard Challenge was its simplicity, and that it's just broken down to a few daily tasks that are non-negotiable, right? It's just, you got to get this done. And I really like that. These are the tasks. And the whole premise was that you have to build your day around 75 Hard. You don't fit 75 Hard into your day. So you had to plan, you had to be focused. The biggest thing you need to get through this is the external accountability, which is what I didn't have the first 2 times I attempted this. I figured I could get through it alone on willpower. And I just figured I can muster through this. I can do this on my own. 1, I didn't even download the app. 2, there was nobody to report to. 3, there was nobody to share wins with and challenges with. 4, there was no consequence if I failed. So I started it on my own and I finished it on my own. And nobody until now knows that I did 75 Hard twice in the past and failed it both times, which really chipped away at my personal confidence that, do I even have what it takes to complete something challenging? Or are those days long gone? And I started to hear those voices that we all struggle with. I call them villains or lies that try and reaffirm beliefs that your subconscious attempts to tell you that are true. So I have this belief, and I've unpacked this with therapy. I'll save all this for another video, but I have this lie that says you're always gonna be just okay. You're never gonna be great. I have this subconscious programming that always tells me that. So the only fuel I have available is by just going harder. So do it again. But what I was missing was connection to other people who could hold me accountable. And I never thought the tool that I was missing was connection to other men. How in the world could connection be the thing that helps me become successful? And it's interesting because when I did 75 Hard the 3rd time, it was finally with a group of men. It was my brother, a team member of mine, 2 clients, as well as a neighbor. So we had a group, I think 7. We all have young kids. All of us have anywhere from 2 to 3 kids. We're all similar ages. We're all super busy. And having this private text message group that we started, that was the game changer for me, because I got more satisfaction checking in with them at the end of the day, saying that I completed all my tasks. And at the end of the day, you check off everything on the app and you get to post on your social media that, day 2, day 10, and people can see, oh, he's working through the program. And if you screw up on any of them, you have to go back and start on day 1. I think where it really helped was the first few weekends, all the guys started sharing similar struggles. Oh, my kids are watching a movie right now with bags of popcorn. It's killing me. Or my wife just cracked open a bottle of wine. Or, hey, the kids are eating chocolate-covered almonds and they're lying around in the kitchen because they didn't finish them. And then it's like, when you're in those moments, you're like, I can either grab that or I can start over. Which one is more important to you? So having the group of guys was the #1 thing that got me through this challenge, which is why I failed the first 2 times. I didn't have the external accountability. It's one thing to disappoint yourself. It's another thing to disappoint your coach. It's a whole nother thing to disappoint other guys that are just like you. And one of the guys in the group said, Vinny, you better not pull out early. He essentially said, I'm following through this whole thing. You could kind of tell, like, some guys, we were all feeding off of each other. There were times where I was the strongest one and I was going out in the -10-degree weather, then posting the photo of, hey, just knocked out my 45. And the other guy's like, oh, I'm going right now. I needed to know that. You just did it. So we were feeding off of each other's energy, and that's how you get through it. And what we also did is every single Monday, we posted our physical photos, like with our shirts off. And we would post our progress pictures publicly in the group, which was really neat. We also were sharing, I know this is not a weight loss challenge, but we were all losing quite a bit of weight and we were sharing that. So it was also very interesting to see, like, I lost a lot of weight in the start. I went from 226 right down to 212, I think like in the first 3-4 weeks or something. I was in this place where, man, I'm gonna cruise right into 199. This is a breeze. I'm gonna crush this, but I got stuck at 212 for about 4 or so weeks. And then I experienced a swoosh effect and I went from 212 to 208 overnight. And then I hung up between 208 to 210 for a little while. And then near the end, I came in at 205. So in total, I lost 20 pounds. And you can see the photos here. It doesn't look like I lost any muscle mass because I know that I'm almost positive I didn't lose any muscle mass. I didn't take a DEX or anything, so don't give me a lie detector here. But if you look at my physique, I definitely don't look scrawnier. I lost a lot of belly fat, and I got stronger in the gym. One of the things I was most impressed about was that my work capacity increased. And according science, obviously science is science. But the human spirit is far more powerful than science. That's what I discovered because my body adapted despite not taking a single rest day this entire time. Now, I was pretty strategic on how I did the second workout. I did 3 weight workouts per week for the first over half, and then we added ladder of death to make it 4 workouts per week. That challenge-based workout, that was like, when I started doing that workout once per week, I'm like, Vinny's back. I felt like a completely new man. And now I've got visions of doing this workout until we get up to 315 for 100 reps. And I'm like, I think this is possible. I think we were very smart with our workouts for the first half. We were doing 𝘽𝙎𝙎𝙎 style full body workouts, just 4 or 5 exercises, really simple rep and set schemes. And not knocking that at all. I think that's what worked for us. The workouts were very simple. I wasn't using any of my fancy periodization from back in the day. Workouts Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then I would do outdoor brisk walking for the bulk. Now, here in Canada, it was like -15 to -5 almost every time we did our cardio outside, or I did it on my own. It was cold. So I had to also not be stupid and try and run on slippery surfaces. So I, end up pulling a hip because then I'm out. So I did brisk walking for most of it, but near the end, I started to incorporate some run, jog. I actually got in quite a few workouts where I was doing some hill sprints. If you watch them from a distance, they didn't look like sprints, but it was definitely 70% output. At the start, I was really disciplined, getting the second workout in before the end of my workday, in the middle of my workday. The weights was always early in the morning. And then on the non-weight day, I would do yoga. And I found this guy on YouTube here, Breathe and Flow. The flexibility, the mobility, I'm gonna definitely keep that up at least twice per week because my goodness, the stretch was so good. So stretching, brisk walking, weights, challenge-based workouts were the workouts. Water was actually the easiest for me because I front load the water. I drink 1 liter of water as soon as I wake up with lemon, and then I do another liter of water with amino acids, and then I have my preload, my all-day energy formula with my workout. So there's another third, and then after, I'd normally have the last liter of water throughout the day. So I've heard a lot of people struggle with the water. I pounded the water, the first 3 liters in the first like 2-3 hours of the day. Another big thing was the reading. That was one of the most enjoyable things. I have this massive bookshelf. I've always had this inspiration to read more books. And I got to do something that I've always wanted to do, which was just read more. And this was probably one of the most fruitful parts of the day, because all the stuff I was learning, I would create content out of it. It'd make my podcasts better. It'd make my coaching calls better. I have a high-level coaching program where people pay me a lot of money to coach them. And there's been stuff from these books that produced a lot of breakthroughs in some of my private clients. And now I got this other stack of books, if you can see them over here. That's the next challenge. So I am just continuing the reading, and that was probably one of the best parts. So why did I do this challenge? I think the big thing for me was to reclaim the authority in my voice and to stop using language to cover up lifestyle. And I really wanted to create a new standard of excellence in my life. I wanted to raise the baseline of performance, and I wanted to have habits that would help me become the person I needed to be to attract leaders. In order for me to attract leaders, I need to become a more effective leader, and the hardest person to lead is yourself. So for me, developing these disciplines and having no opportunity to negotiate with myself and to make excuses and to rationalize, that was the biggest thing. Because in order to be a leader, you have to be able to inspire people. You have to be able to motivate people. You have to be able to create momentum in their life. And that's going to come from a place of encouraging somebody to find a new gear, and not to just, hammer them with a weapon of like, do this or you're a complete loser, but to help inspire them that, hey, I struggle with this too. And to be able to inspire from a place of vulnerability. If you don't know what this whole thing is all about, I'll put a link to the podcast that outlines this whole thing, a tactical guide to winning the war on your mind. And he's got some pretty aggressive and in-your-face commentary on, how to do this. And some people might find it offensive. I personally liked it, and I thought it was pretty well needed, at least for me now. I don't think I'll need that type of discourse all the time, but there's definitely a time where you need a swift kick to the tail to get your butt in gear. Toughen up your mind. And the reason you toughen up your mind is because you do hard things physically. A lot of people say, I need a mindset coach. No, you just need a physically hard program, and a physically hard program will make your mind tough. That's how it works. You don't get a mindset coach. You get a hard-ass training program that will make your mind adapt to the tough things, and that's how your mind gets harder. If the mind quits first, then the body's gone. So you got to train the body in order to toughen the mind. All right, that's it. Talk to you soon.